looked at the stats, Nick, and when obviously passing stats are heavily for Stafford. But when you look at the total stats, it's a lot closer than I thought. I mean, Allen has more total yards per game, obviously includes rushing, more yards per attempt, better completion percentage, and then the TDs. 12 of those are rushing TDs, but still, it's not as wide a gap as I thought.
50% more turnovers is a significant number.
Yeah, but 12 isn't, I mean, it's not great, but it doesn't feel that huge. But here's the thing, and this is why I think you can rest easy, Nick, because one, I don't think Stafford's going to collapse. But two, narrative is important. I'm an
Josh
NBA MVP
always
voter.
wins the narrative.
No, but here's the narratives. For Stafford, a guy that has numbers-wise been an all-time great, a guy that people have called and talked about as an all-time great, but hasn't had the hardware other than one Super Bowl to get it. Now, if he gets his MVP, it kind of justifies him as an all-time great. Like you said, it might put him in the Hall of Fame. All of that's resting on this. Good. Josh Allen, here's his narrative. He won it last year. And voter fatigue is real. So unless Stafford collapses and Josh is incredible the next few games, I don't see any way it happens.
See, I think that if Stafford plays poorly on Thursday night against that defense, and all of a sudden they're no longer the 1 seed, and in fact they're going to be a wild card, people won't care. Like, people will use the Rams being a wild card as a reason not to vote for Stafford and not care that Josh is a wild card because it's just kind of been assumed for the last 2 months he's going to be. Both of them end up being, if both of them go to a 12-5 as wild cards, it will feel like a collapse for Stafford and an achievement for Josh.
He comes on at the end of the year.
Well, and
December and January record is like
he doesn't have the skilled position help that Stafford does. I know he's got James Cook, but his receivers are.
He doesn't have the receivers, but he's got a running back that's going to run for 1,600 yards. And can we just real quick? Because I think some people listening be like, MVP shouldn't be judged on like your worst games, should be judged on your best games, which I understand to a degree. Stafford's best has been as good as Josh's best. If we put their 4 best games side by side, this is not in a row. It's just your 4 best games of the year by passer ratings when I picked it. So both of when they're flying, both of them, the team scores 30 plus, they put up, crazy yards, touchdown interception ratio is perfect, passer ratings perfect. So if their bests this year, like peak games, have been equal, then the next, evaluator has to be your median games and how many bad games you had. And Stafford's had 1 poor, truly outright bad game this year. I think Josh has had 3, maybe 4. There is a level of, because he is such a unique player and when he is rolling, it does feel like a force of nature more than any other player in the league.
He carries his team more.
That there is, every time he plays great, someone wants to go on TV and say he's the MVP.
That's right.
In a way that doesn't happen for really any other player in the league.
Yes. The take is that Josh Allen carries his team, and Nick Wright was going to disagree, but then stopped himself. Buffalo Bills fans, you absolutely have to watch this full video and subscribe, because I completely dismantle this entire argument. This needs to become my most watched Bills video. It's one of the most important videos I've ever made. Not for me, but for Josh Allen and the Bills. This take is about to be destroyed. First, the argument being presented is incredibly misleading. Nick talks about comparing their best games, but he defines best strictly by passer rating. This is a fundamental flaw. Josh Allen's best games were heroic performances in absolute shootouts where his defense gave up 30-plus points against the Ravens, Buccaneers, and Patriots. He had to single-handedly will his team to victory. Those are his true best games by impact. Matthew Stafford's best games by passer rating, however, are largely blowouts against bad teams like the Cardinals and Saints, or against decimated defenses like the 49ers. Comparing these contexts is absurd. It's the definition of cooking the books. This is especially egregious because it completely removes what makes Josh Allen unique, his legs. By only looking at passer rating, you literally remove historic record-setting performances from the conversation. For example, Josh Allen is the only quarterback in the Super Bowl era to have 3 passing and 3 rushing touchdowns in a game, and he's done it twice, including against Nick's own Super Bowl pick, the Buccaneers. But because that spectacular performance might not be a top 4 passer rating game, it's conveniently excluded from the best games comparison. That's insane. When you actually look at Josh Allen's 4 true best games, the Ravens, Patriots, Buccaneers comebacks, he has more total yards per game, more total touchdowns, more yards per attempt, and scores more points. You're artificially taking away 4+ touchdowns and nearly 50 total yards from him by using a flawed metric. But let's flip it. Let's look at their 4 worst games of the season. The losses or objectively poor performances. When you compare them head-to-head in these bad games, the difference in burden is staggering. Passing yards. Allen, 992, 248 game. Stafford, 750, 187.5 game. Rushing yards. Allen, 146, Stafford, 0. Total yards, game. Allen, 284.5. Stafford, 187.5. Total TDs. Allen, 6. Stafford, 7. Stafford leads by 1. Completion percent. Allen, 67.9%. Stafford, 60%. Yards attempt. Allen, 7.6. Stafford, 6.5. Big time throws. Allen, 9. Stafford, 4. Pressures faced. Allen, 74. Stafford, 33, less than half. Scrambles. Allen, 17. Stafford, 1. The most damning stat is that team run support in these bad games. Bills team rush yards, game, without Allen. 84, which would rank 31st chart in the NFL. Rams team rush yards, game. 126, which would rank 8th in the NFL. In his 4 worst games, Josh Allen got the rushing support of the Las Vegas Raiders, while Matthew Stafford got top 10 rushing support. The Bills only rushed for over 100 yards once in those games. Allen also faced more than double the pressures and had to scramble 17 times to Stafford's 1. This proves the core point. Even when Josh Allen is at his worst, he has to carry an astronomically larger burden for his team than Matthew Stafford does. Stafford has the luxury of a dominant run game and better protection to fall back on. Allen often is the run game and has to create under constant duress. The MVP award is about value. Who is more valuable to their team's success? The numbers show that Josh Allen is asked to do far more with far less support, and he delivers historic performances in the highest leverage moments. To dismiss this by using a cherry-picked, pass-only stat like top passer rating games is not just misleading, it's intellectually dishonest. Josh Allen isn't stealing the MVP. He is the clear MVP. If anything, Stafford is the one benefiting from a system that inflates certain stats while hiding his struggles with immense team support. This segment was a perfect example of how statistics can be manipulated to fit a narrative, and it objectively falls apart under real scrutiny.